Being gay, lesbian, bi, trans, questioning can be difficult in the North Country's small communities. There are fewer support groups. There's still a stigma in many circles. So this month, Pride Month, takes on added significance. It's a time when people can go to a parade or a pride prom or a drag queen event and say, hey, there are people here like me. The importance of rural pride on today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Claxton Hepburn Medical Center, dedicated to providing patient care and regional services to the people of St. Lawrence County. claxtonhepburn.org.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Thursday, June 13th. First up, Wilmington, the closest town to Whiteface Mountain, has amended its short-term vacation rental law to make it stricter. That's after over a year of debate and a well-attended and charged public hearing earlier this week. The amended law caps the number of allowed short-term vacation rentals at 150 units. It also requires inspections of STRs every 2 years and requires STR owners to get an annual permit. Adirondack communities have been grappling with how to regulate short-term rentals for years now. In Wilmington's last town council election, it was one of the top issues. NCPR spoke with longtime resident Marilyn Monsko on Election Day.
It does bring some people in at, good times of the year. And it does make things high for the people that want to live here, the young people. That's, that would be my biggest issue, that it's taking rentals away.
There are currently 145 permitted STRs in Wilmington, representing over a third of the town's housing units. The Adirondack Daily Enterprise reports that Tuesday's public hearing at the Wilmington town offices was packed, with most of the public comment for the amendment's new regulations. The STR committee, which is separate from the town council, expressed frustration that more of its recommendations were not adopted in this week's amendment. Wilmington, Keene, Lake Placid, and Saranac Lake all now have official STR regulations. The St. Lawrence Seaway Visitor Center in Messina has reopened to the public after it had to close for 6 days due to water damage. Seaway officials say a severe storm on June 6th caused water damage to the building's interior. The $7 million facility held a grand opening just a month ago. The new center has built steps from the Eisenhower Lock and includes a 3-story viewing platform for people to watch huge Seaway ships slide in and out of the lock. The center's open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. The state DMV is getting a little more digital with the launch of New York's new mobile ID. New Yorkers will be able to put their driver's license ID on their smartphones. Jessica Kane with the New York Public News Network tells us how it works.
The New York State DMV says passengers going through security checkpoints at LaGuardia or JFK airports won't have to dig through their bags for their IDs anymore. Now New Yorkers can put their driver's license, learner permit, or non-driver ID right on their smartphones. And DMV Deputy Commissioner Lisa Kumjian says it can be used beyond our state.
The New York Mobile ID, as soon as you download it, can be used anywhere it's accepted. Other states have mobile IDs similar to ours. If they accept, let's say, Iowa or Louisiana, for example, and you travel to those states, your New York mobile ID will work there as well.
The DMV says anyone with a valid state-issued ID can download the app through Google Play or the App Store. The mobile ID can only be put on one device at a time. Kumjian says it's designed to be more private and secure than a physical ID.
You lose your phone, your mobile ID is completely protected. You have to enter either a 6-digit PIN that you set up, or you can unlock it with your face or your fingerprint, Face ID or Touch ID. So it's secure.
The DMV says it's also working with businesses, organizations, and state government partners to teach them how the mobile ID works and how they can accept it for identity or age verification purposes. In Syracuse, I'm Jessica Kane for the New York Public News Network.
June is Pride Month, and folks in the North Country are gathering to celebrate. The second annual Potsdam Pride Festival was this past weekend. More communities are holding events throughout the month. NCPR intern Skylar White reports on what Pride Month means here in our region.
That's the band Uprooted at Potsdam Pride. The festival featured live music, adult and family-friendly drag shows, food, free face painting, and lots of support from local businesses and nonprofits.
So it's been really validating to see, people connect.
Rebecca Donnelly is an organizer for Potsdam Pride. She says the idea for the festival was inspired by visiting Pride events around the North Country. She specifically remembers the atmosphere of small-town Pride in Malone. That's held the first weekend of June every year.
When I went to that 2 years ago, for me, that was really inspiring to see just how happy and comfortable families felt, and kids felt, and adults felt. It was such a welcoming atmosphere and so much fun. It seemed like something that we could and should bring to Potsdam.
This is only the second year of Potsdam Pride, but Donnelly says the idea was a hit from the very beginning.
The number of people who showed up, it was almost as if they had been just, expecting it to happen. So what that says to me is that when you're willing to put the time into planning these events, there is absolutely an audience for it.
She says celebrating Pride is especially important in rural places like the North Country, where queer people may not feel like they have spaces to connect with each other and create community.
People in the LGBTQ community need safe places to go. They need to know that they're welcome and that they're loved and that they belong. And this is just a very small part of that work.
Anti-trans and LGBTQ rhetoric and legislation has been rising nationwide. There have been troubling incidents in the North Country, too. In May, a parent in Saranac Lake made anti-trans comments about a student at a flag football game. In April, someone tore down pride flags from an LGBTQ activist's porch.
The fight, the struggle continues to this day. And look what's happening around the country. We want to make sure that New York State is a safe place for us.
That activist was Kelly Metzger, the executive director of the Adirondack North Country Gender Alliance. That's a nonprofit organization that hosts Pride and LGBTQ visibility events in Franklin, Essex, and Clinton counties. She says Pride parades and events began as protests, but now they're also about being joyful.
It's about celebrating life. It's about celebrating who you are, however you identify, racially or religiously or ethnically. It's about celebrating who you are.
Watertown is hosting Pride events this weekend, Thousand Islands Pride is the following weekend, and Tri-Lakes Pride in Saranac Lake will be the last weekend of June. For North Country Public Radio, I'm Skylar White in Canton.
We have more news all the time on our website, ncpr.org. I want to take a moment here to invite you to join NCPR's Texting Club. It's fun, it's free, it's cool. Here's what happens. About twice a month, we'll send you a text with a question or a series of questions, like how is the climate changing in your backyard? Or what's your favorite local ice cream place? And then you text your answer back, or you can just ignore it. There's no obligation. But if you answer, you'll be part of building our news reports, helping our journalists understand what's really going on in the North Country before we put out stories. So sign up by just texting the word new to 315-978-6277. Again, text the word new to 315-978-6277 and join the NCPR Texting Club. You'll become a partner in building strong, trustworthy journalism in the North Country. Thanks for considering it. Music today by Patricia Julian of Burlington and Paul Myers of Colton. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.